Hi everybody, this is Tali Berman and welcome to what I'm going to do today is a two-part series on autism and toilet training. So definitely we're going to get into, and actually in the next part, what are the strategies you can use to help your child become toilet trained. But before you do that, this is, I think in my opinion, even more important. Here are some things, something very important that you need to do before you start toilet training your child, and doing this one thing will help you and your child avoid a ton of unnecessary frustration. So what's that thing? I just have a little list here. I want to make sure I cover everything with you guys. And that is checking for your child's readiness, their readiness for toilet training. So I want to give you really clear things that you can look for, because if you first look to make sure, is my child ready? Is he or she showing signs of readiness to let us know, to indicate that we are ready to really go on this path, you're in a much different position. And if your child is showing signs of readiness, I'll tell you exactly what you can do. And if your child is not showing signs of readiness, I'll tell you what else you can do instead. So either way, you'll have clear things of what you need to do next, but determining your child's readiness is critical, because this is not about age. This is not about, well, is your child 3? Is your child 4? Is your child 6? This is about your child's, where they are in their development, where they are in their body awareness, and where they are in their awareness in general. So the primary thing you want to do before you embark on any toilet training process, because it can take a lot of energy, and the last thing you want to do is start at a time when you or your child is not ready, is check for your child's readiness. So here are some things to look for. 5 questions you can ask yourself. Question number 1, does my child have awareness when others go to the bathroom? So is he or she watching an interest when other kids are going, when their siblings are going, when you or your partner are going? Or does he show interest by pretending with dolls that they're going to the bathroom? Have you seen any awareness from your child about others going to the bathroom? That's the first thing. Number 2, the next thing to check for. Has your child showed any awareness that they themselves are going to the bathroom? So for example, not to the bathroom, that are making a pee or making a poop. So what this means is some kids you might see, when they know they're going to make a poop, they'll go hide somewhere, hide behind the couch, go somewhere private. They definitely indicate that they want to be private when they're going to the bathroom, when they're making a pee or a poo in their diaper. So do they show awareness themselves when they have to go to the bathroom? Does your child demonstrate awareness that he or she has made a poop or a pee in the diaper? So for example, are they showing discomfort? Is he or she showing that they want to be changed? Are they kind of like itching and showing that they're not comfortable? Do they rip their diaper off? Do they come to you to get changed? Does your child indicate that he's aware that he's either wet or sticky or messy and it's not comfortable for him or her? Again, these are all showing you certain levels of body awareness. Number 4 things to check. This is like the readiness checklist. Does your child demonstrate bladder control? So for example, is your child able to stay dry for at least 1 to 2 hours at a time? Is there certain places or certain times where your child might not pee? If he's not comfortable or holds it in some way. Is there a way that your child is able to really have bladder control? And the 5th one is, does your child have regular bowel movements, meaning that your child is not constipated, going 2 days or 3 days without making a poop, or that your child doesn't have chronic diarrhea where they're constantly having this sort of like runny diarrhea. All right, so you want to make sure that your child is having regular bowel movements, let's say at least once a day, fairly well-formed poops. Now, you might be thinking, oh my God, my child has to have all those things in order to get started. And no, your child does not have to have all those things to get started. You don't have to have a check on every aspect of that checklist, but I would recommend that you check, observe your child carefully, and look for at least 2 to 3 out of that list. Right? If my child has 2 or 3 of those aspects on the checklist, then go for it. And we'll talk next time how to go for it, because this might be a sign that your child is ready to do toilet training. Now, if your child is not showing those indications, right, and your child's like not showing maybe 1, but not really, of that checklist I just described, and is not showing clear readiness, then to help you and your child avoid not only a frustrating process, but also possibly a negative one. We want your child to have an experience when they're toilet training of confidence, of success, and of ease. And if we start too soon, when they're not ready, it's not going to be that. And then when you try to start it again, there's a little bit of a past experience you're going to have to work through or retrain. So we want to make sure that your child is ripe and ready. So if your child is not showing barely any of those readiness signs, that's okay. You just saved yourself a lot of time and frustration. Wait. Wait for about 3 months or so and then reevaluate. Go through that checklist again. See, is he developing more awareness? And actually, I'm going to give you some things that you can do instead. So instead of starting a toilet training process, you want to start a readiness skills process, which means really begin to show your child and demonstrate when other people are using the toilet. Like if he has a sibling, look what he's making a pee-pee in the toilet. He's making a poo-poo in the toilet. I'm not asking you to do it, but I just want you to learn and be aware of what other people are doing. Have him come into the bathroom when you're going to the bathroom. Begin to develop this awareness by modeling yourself with other people. You can make a game out of it with some of the toys that he might like. Begin to really develop that awareness by doing it that way. And the other thing is to really start to narrate and describe when your child is making a poo or pee in his diaper when he's wet. Oh, you made a pee in your diaper, you're all wet. You take it, the diaper, you can throw it away and explain that soon we're going to start toilet training and you can make a pee in the toilet. If there's a poop in the diaper, you can take it together. Okay, you've made a poop in the diaper, we're going to put the poop in the toilet, flush it down the toilet, and help your child to become aware of his own process. So there are definite things you can do if your child has not met 2 or 3 aspects of the readiness checklist, and that is really focusing on helping to develop that awareness. If, by the way, your child shows like no sign of body awareness or does have chronic constipation or diarrhea, then I would definitely urge you, if you're not already doing that, to work with a doctor who's very familiar with biomedical intervention for children with autism to really understand if there's anything that you can do with supplements, with diets, with removing allergens that can help your child really become more aware. I've definitely know about kids who, by removing casein from their diet and gluten from their diet, have begun to develop a body awareness they just didn't have before. It was like a numbing effect for them. And allergens are an important piece too. So if your child does have chronic constipation or diarrhea, make sure to investigate that from a medical perspective before, because there's nothing harder than trying to toilet train a child who has chronic diarrhea, or the last thing you want to do is create further constipation by having a whole process around making a poop in the toilet if already he's having a hard time making a poop in his diaper. So the first thing to do before you toilet train is make sure your child has the readiness skills. So that's what I have for you today. In part 2, I'll talk about if your child does have those readiness skills, what you can do to make toilet training as successful as possible. I would love to hear from you. If you're watching this anywhere other than my blog, hop on over to www.taliberman.com, scroll on down and leave me a comment. What is one thing you are taking from this video? What is one skill or one tip that you've used with your child that has been successful, or is there any questions that you have? So scroll on down, leave a comment. I'd love to engage and interact with you, and I will see you next time for part 2 of my Autism and Toilet Training series.